You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the Interactive Interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Okay, Christmas edition here on WrestlingEpicenter.com. This is a special little treat for you guys on the internet for supporting us all through 2005, as we're going to sign off the year with an internet-only show and return in 2006 to the Blaze 1260 AM with our regularly scheduled live broadcast. That said, we're going to send off 2005 the only way we know how, and that is with a holiday show you cannot miss. First of all, we have the genius Lanny Poffo stopping by to read How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Who else can offer you that? I got to tell you, sitting on the phone with this guy, hearing him read that without even having a script, you talk about a guy having an appropriate gimmick. Truly, Lanny's a genius. That said, we also have TNA Wrestling's own Christian Cage, formerly Christian of the WWE, hot guest to have right now as he discusses everything concerning his release, or departure I should say, from World Wrestling Entertainment and the decision to go to Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. It's truly something you're going to want to stay tuned for. We go about 25 minutes with the guy. We're going to air the first, 12 and a half minutes of it this week on the Christmas special. Want to keep it locked right here to hear that. Part 2 will air when we return to the Blaze 1260 AM next year. If I may, I'd like to go on a quick little rant. First of all, this is a Christmas show, not a holiday show, a Christmas show. I'm not offended by the term Happy Holidays, don't get me wrong, but this is Christmas. December 25th is Christmas. And for retailers, especially, not just people on the street, but for retailers to sit there and say Happy Holidays is ridiculous. How many people go out and buy gifts to give to people for New Year's? Nobody does that. Christmas is the gift-giving holiday. If you're going to make money off the holiday season, you damn well better acknowledge why you're getting this money, and that is because it is Christmas. It's not a religious thing for me. It's just a public freedom of speech thing. If I'm Christian and I choose to say Christmas, I should have the same right as any rapper has the right to go out and say, I'm going to go kick a pregnant woman in the stomach. It is a difference in class, in dignity, and the bottom line is this, guys. If you take Christ out of Christmas, you're truly ruining the reason for the season. That said, Merry Christmas to all, and why don't I keep that Christmas cheer going with a little goofy Christmas songs for you guys to enjoy. Hopefully I'll bring a little humor to the holiday season. I don't want to get too heavy on you guys. So enjoy the parodies, enjoy the funny little songs. Hope you like the interviews, and keep it locked right here to WrestlingEpicenter.com. And, of course, keep checking back, WrestlingEpicenter.com, each and every day. The hottest news in wrestling, bar none. Thank you, and keep it locked right here, WrestlingEpicenter.com. We'll be right back with the one and only Lanny Poffo.
Available now in the archives of InteractiveWrestlingRadio.com and WrestlingEpicenter.com. It's our 2005 exclusive interview with the one and only, positively, Chris Kanyon. Who's better than Kanyon?
Well, everybody knows the answer to that.
Nobody, right?
It always will be nobody.
Get it now in MP3 format at InteractiveWrestlingRadio.com and WrestlingEpicenter.com.
Welcome back to the Wrestling Epicenter Christmas edition, as we are now being joined by the genius Lanny Poffo. Lanny, how you doing?
The genius, full of glory and renown. And since you can't see me, I've got a promise that I am not reading from any text. I've been performing the Grinch I've done 20 schools this year. I've got about 5 more to do before the Christmas season is up. And on my website, LannyPoffo.com, within a few weeks, they're going to have the Grinch up there, and it shows me performing it live.
So you've memorized every word?
What's that?
You've memorized every word?
Oh, yes. I used to do this for my daughter. You know, there's only 3 gimmicks that were real in the business back when I was around. Andre was really a giant. I was really a genius, and Jake was really a snake.
Ah. Did you hear about Jake? I heard he went missing a couple of weeks ago.
He went where?
He went missing.
Missing?
Yes.
Oh, okay, well.
The WWE did that special documentary on him, and they wanted to do an interview with him on a show called Bite This, which is their wrestling talk show on the internet. And Jake went missing for a good 3 weeks, and now I'm seeing his name showing up for independent booking, so I guess he's back again. But
well, anyway, maybe he'll learn the meaning of Christmas. Are you ready to start?
Absolutely. Fire away.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on quite right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all could have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a holly Who leaf. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. He growled with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find a way to keep Christmas from coming. For tomorrow I know all those Who girls and boys will wake bright and early and rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise, noise. If there's one thing I hate, it's noise. And the Who's, young and old, will sit down to a feast. And they'll feast, and they'll feast, and they'll feast. They'll start on Who pudding and rare Who roast beef. Blah. Roast beef is a feast I can't stand in the least. And then they'll do something I hate most of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, will stand close together with Christmas bells a-ringing. They'll stand holding hands, and those Whos will start singing, and they'll sing, and they'll sing, and they'll sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas thing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I gotta stop Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what I'll do, the Grinch laughed in his throat. And he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled and clucked. What a great Grinchy trick. With his coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer, the Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the Grinch? No, the Grinch quickly said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Max, and he got some red thread, and he tied a big horn to the top of his head. And he got some old bags and some empty old sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. And the Grinch said, giddy up! And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. Other windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. The Whos were all dreaming sweet dreams without care when he came to the first little house on the square. This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed. And he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. And he slid down the chimney a rather tight pinch. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two. Then he stuck out his head through the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings hung neat in a row. These stockings, he Grinched, are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and he took every present. How's it start? Wait a second, I'm sorry. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, corn and plum. He shoved them in bags, and the Grinch very nimbly shoved every bag one by one up the chimney. Then he went to the icebox. He eyed the Who's feast. He stole the Who pudding. He stole the roast beef. He cleaned up the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even stole their last can of Who hash. He shoved the Who's feast up the chimney with glee, and then grinned the Grinch, I will step up the tree. The Grinch grabbed the tree, and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light in this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here. And this did fool the child, and he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her to bed. But when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and shoved the tree up. And the last thing he took was a log for their fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On the walls, he left nothing but hooks and some wire, and the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Who's mouses. It was dawn. All the Who's still in bed, all the Who's still asleep when he packed up his sled. Packed up the presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the taggings and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top-toot dump it. Pooh-pooh to the Who's he was Grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up, I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a moment or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's the noise, grinned the Grinch, that I simply must hear. Then he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel. Mr. Grinch, you're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a rotter, Mr. Grinch. You're a skanky, wanky skunk. The three words which best describe you are as follows, and I quote, stink, stank, dunk. But he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started out low, and it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. No, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry, merry. He stared down at Whoville, the Grinch popped his eyes, and he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. He stood with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow. He puzzled and puzzled. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. He puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, he thought, means a little bit more. And what happened next? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the moment his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his sleigh through the bright morning light. He brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And then he himself, the Grinch carved the roast beef. Thank you.
Oh, wow, that's tremendous.
Thank you. And I never did it over the phone before, but I used to do it for my daughter. And she said, read me a story. I said, what do you want to hear, honey? She says, the Grinch. I said, it's July. She doesn't care. She wants to hear it.
Yes.
Now she's going to be 22 years old, May 29th.
Oh, that's tremendous. Last time you were on, you were telling us that it was your father's 80th birthday. How's he doing?
April 10th, he was 80.
Yes.
And he's still doing it.
That's excellent.
I just saw him recently.
That's excellent. Let me ask you this. When you're hitting the schools lately, and you tell them that you're going to read How the Grinch Stole Christmas, obviously they invite you. It's not like you just show up. But has anybody ever told you, don't use the C word?
Oh, you know something? You mean Christmas?
Yes.
Because there's another C word.
Oh, yeah.
Very unpopular.
Yeah, well, that one you probably shouldn't use when you're reading The Grinch.
But the other C word, only unpopular with cunt.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, and since we're not cunts, we can just go ahead and say it. Anyway, nobody's mentioned it, and I figure, of course, in wrestling, I was never one of the big guys. Mm-hmm. You know, when you had King Kong Bundy and all these people. Mm-hmm. But in the schools, I'm very big. So who's going to stop me, right?
Ah, yeah.
I'm going to say anything about Xmas or whatever. I don't want to get involved in that ridiculous. Dr. Seuss is a tremendous contributor to American children's literature, and I'm going to do it exactly the way he wrote it.
Absolutely.
And you know something, that movie that they made, his dying wish was he did not want his widow to sell out the movie rights, and she thought it would be more important to make money than it was to honor his dead husband. So I thought, I'm relieved that Ron Howard did such a good job, and Jim Carrey, but sometimes they don't always love you. Did you know that?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, sometimes it's about the money.
Yeah, The Catcher in the Rye has never been made a movie, and that was J.D. Salinger's wish.
Right, yes.
Yes, see, I've read a few books in my day. All right, well, we really can't thank you.
For your lucky quiz, who wrote Tale of Two Cities?
Oh, my God. I read this, too, but it's been quite a few years.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Same guy that wrote A Christmas Carol, same guy that wrote David Copperfield, same guy that wrote Oliver Twist.
Oh, man. I know the name now, and it's stuck
I'll tell you why I know the name.
Why is that?
Because there's this girl that used to call me Charles Dickens.
Oh.
She didn't call me Charles Dickens. That was the name she gave my male member.
Oh.
She says, "How's Charles Dickens?" And I said, "Great." And then so for a gift, I gave her A Tale of Two Titties.
Wow. Yeah, that's...
Just back in the old days.
Oh, yeah.
Back before I grew up.
Excellent. Well, we really can't thank you enough. And
I'm going to have a birthday December 28th, and please encourage your people to get on my website because The Grinch is actually coming. I did it for an elementary school, and they taped it, and within a few weeks, it's going to be up there. And I've also got my match with Hulk Hogan and my appearance on Regis.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, thank you for having me.
It was fantastic. By the way, I just want to throw this in there. I was at my girlfriend's house about 2 weeks ago, and up against the wall I saw a little exercise machine. And I thought, what is that? So I pull it out, and I remember I haven't seen you work, and I thought, it looks really easy on TV. Mm-hmm. And I start using it, and I'm like, this thing is fun. I just sat there and watched television just doing this thing for 40 minutes. I didn't realize 40 minutes went by.
It's easy on the joints, easy on the credit card. You know, I don't lie on TV. But, you know, the Gazelle is a great thing. It's, but anyway, even that's going to be on my website very soon. And we've got a new thing. Instead of directing the people to Amazon.com, I've actually got my home address there where just tell me what you want, and I'll actually autograph your books or pictures exactly the way you want it. And we'll do it personally, eliminating the middleman at all times. Anyway, Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Merry Christmas as well.
Happy Festivus.
Festivus.
Whatever the hell's going on.
Wrestle around the old pole or whatever that was on Seinfeld.
Right, Seinfeld, right? Hey, remember that? There was significant shrinkage.
Oh, yeah.
I was in the pool.
Yeah, I've suffered from that myself.
Anyway.
Like a frightened turtle.
Yeah, right. Have a good day. God bless you.
God bless you, and Merry Christmas, and I guess we will see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take it easy.
Available in the archives at WrestlingEpicenter.com. It's our interview with Gary Michael Capetta. Gary Michael Capetta.
So I'm trying to sleep, and I'm here. All of a sudden, I hear some rumbling in the hall, and what's going through my mind, and this was before Arn came out into the hall. What's going through my mind? The boys are playing. I wish they could sleep. And then all of a sudden, I heard some thumping. I heard some, and I put my light on in the room, and the pictures on the wall started to vibrate. And like boom, boom. And what was happening, as I come to find out, was that Sid had a chair, and he was hitting it against the wall.
Find it now at WrestlingEpicenter.com and InteractiveWrestlingRadio.com.
And welcome back to the Christmas edition of the Wrestling Epicenter here on WrestlingEpicenter.com, as we're being joined by WrestlingEpicenter.com's own Patrick Kelly. Patrick, how you doing?
I'm doing great, James. How are you doing this wonderful holiday Christmas season?
I'm doing pretty well. Wish I could find my copy of Uncensored 98, but other than that, I'm having a good day.
Why would you want to find... Was that the one with Hogan and Flair in the main event?
No, that was Hogan and Savage in the main event in the steel cage.
Oh, well, that was a bad match, too. Why would you want to find that?
Well, Savage took a nice backdrop that I wanted to see. He took a backdrop from Hogan from the middle of the ring, and he went backwards into the steel cage and slid down.
Oh, nice.
So it looked pretty sick. I wanted to find that. And then there was the ever-confusing ending where Mike Tenay says, "Oh, would you look at this?" And Tony's like, "What?" And they're just standing there in the ring. And everybody's like, "What the hell?" And then Savage attacks Sting like 5 seconds later. So I guess Mike Tenay was a little early in his reaction.
Wow, that's WCW for you.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Classic. Okay, well, I wanted to come on the show and let everybody know about what's going on with the future of Weekend Warriors of Wrestling. As of right now, Eric will not be coming back to the Epicenter, my former co-host. And I have already posted on the forums that I am looking for a new co-host. I believe somebody already responded. So, yeah, if you want to try out and be my new co-host for Weekend Warriors, you're more than welcome to put your name in the hat, and we'll find some way to try people out.
We already got an offer from Griffin from the forums.
I believe, yes.
So I'd like to hear what he sounds like. We also have Ace of Spades would like to do it, but Ace of Spades might be doing a different show. He would like to do more of an independent wrestling show, so I might offer him that.
About independent, so.
Yes, he might be doing his own show, as well as the Maestro wants to do his own show. And after the holiday season, we're going to sit down and talk with the Maestro and find out exactly how he wants to record it, what he wants to do with it, and it'll be interesting to have a wrestler host a show.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, so we got a couple shows people are willing to do, and we'll see what happens.
All righty.
And I mean, it's unfortunate that Eric won't come back, but evidently I'm a racist. So he goes and works with somebody who might as well be a Klans member.
Okay. Well, we shouldn't post insider information up on the show.
Right.
We'll let our jokes slide tonight. It's Christmas, and we've all been hooked up on eggnog.
Has anybody ever really had eggnog?
I have.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I've never tasted it.
It's good with or without the booze.
I'd rather have it with the booze.
No, well, we all would, but for the kids, if you want to try it without booze, it's still really good.
Oh, well, I'm not sure that I've ever had it. I'm kind of looking forward to having a pina colada, though.
Pina coladas. I love those.
Those are very good. I haven't had one of those.
Best drink ever are Bailey's. Chocolate alcohol.
Oh, wow.
You cannot get any better than that.
That's like a woman's dream right there.
Are you saying I'm a woman? Because I said yesterday that was my dream come true.
No, I'm saying that you got combining alcohol with chocolate. That's the ultimate aphrodisiac right there.
I shall remember that. Come Valentine's Day, I'll try it. See what happens.
It's worth a shot, right?
Yes, it is.
Well, we brought you on here to discuss the best and the worst of 2005, did we not?
Yes. Surprisingly, 2005, from both TNA and WWE, there was a lot of good stuff. A lot of really good stuff, and some really bad stuff, as we saw at Armageddon, for those of us who watched that pay-per-view.
Well, can I make a comment about that real quickly?
Sure, go ahead.
Why was the roof of the cell so low this time?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
I don't understand why they would have the roof that low this time, especially considering they didn't even climb to the top of it. I mean, it's not like they were trying to soften the blow for some big bump. They never left the cage.
No.
I don't know.
First of all, I just watched that match today, actually. First of all, fantastic match. It's one of my picks for one of the better matches this year. But, yeah, I couldn't understand why the roof was a little lower than it normally is. That was kind of scratching my head over that one, too.
Right. I mean, when The Undertaker was on the top rope, he could literally reach the top of the cage relatively easily.
I remember... I'll have to compare it to the previous Hell in a Cells. Maybe I'm just imagining things, but... Was it really lower? I wasn't... It seemed that way, but...
Maybe The Undertaker grew?
Maybe. Actually, I think he shrunk, because they used to bill him as 6'10.5". Then, like, I think last year they started billing him as 6'5". So I think he shrunk.
They billing him as 6'5"?
Yeah.
When did they do that?
Oh, last year. I remember in his match with JBL at SummerSlam, they had, like, the tail of the tape, and they had him at like, 6'5".
Really?
Yeah. which seems a little short to me, but
I think he's taller than 6'5",
I'd say like 6'8".
at least.
Yeah.
Because they built Hogan at 6'8", and Hogan's really 6'5".
Right. And Taker's taller than Hogan.
Yes, by at least a couple inches.
Right. So, don't you just love those, I'm missing the word here, those inaccuracies
Yep.
in wrestling? Isn't it great?
Yes, well, I mean, but I'll tell you this, it works the other way, too. Like, everybody thinks Rob Van Dam is some small guy, and then I go meet him and I feel like a freaking dwarf. He's huge.
That's like Shawn Michaels. I mean, that guy, I've seen that guy live 4 times. One of the times I went to go see him, I was pretty close to the ring, and he's not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination. But on TV, he looks like a midget compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, I was like, man, that guy looks like he could drag me out back and kick my ass with no problem.
It's like Lanny Poffo when I asked him if any schools ever told him not to use the word Christmas when he goes and recites How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Uh-huh.
And he said, well, I'm not that big of a guy in terms of, I'm not that big of a guy compared to King Kong Bundy. But compared to a regular person, I'm quite large. So I'd like to see them try to stop me.
God bless Lanny Poffo. We need the big guys on our side.
Yes, we do.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Stop me, ACLU. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I go on a rant about that at the beginning of the show.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's going to be an interesting listen for people. We might get a few hate mails out of this one.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Somebody might call me a racist. Or something, I don't know. I just went on a... Here's what I said at the beginning of the show. And this is the thing that I don't think anybody's mentioned about this whole war on Christmas thing, but I think is the most important aspect of it.
Right.
It's retailers that we're complaining about most, not saying the words Merry Christmas.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this question. When was the last time you went out and bought $800 worth of New Year's gifts?
Never.
And how much does a dreidel really cost?
Probably not much, I would assume.
Okay, so what is the majority of the money being spent on?
Goes towards Christmas. There's actually, in my hometown, there's actually a store that sells nothing but Christmas decorations. It opens once a year, and it sells nothing but Christmas decorations.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Offenbeckers, whatever the hell it's called.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah, I hate that store, though. Because my mother went there once, and she bought this... you've seen the Disney movie Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Cartoon? There's this dancing Pinocchio with Christmas lights on it, and it sings the most irritating song I think I've ever heard. Now, my mother bought that thing, and every year I have to listen to that damn thing sing. I'm like, I just want to take that thing and throw it in the fireplace.
Should you remember Family Guy when he's with Pinocchio and he asked if he ate the cookie? It's okay, you can lie, I might believe you. Because he's bending over in front of the wooden nose. That show sometimes is sick. But
yes, but it's funny though.
Yes, it is. Well, the best and the worst of 2005.
Okay, let's talk about. I wanted to talk about doing a general thing. How about tag teams? Or I know one of the major complaints about WWE this year was the lack of tag team wrestling, but believe it or not, we actually got some decent tag teams this year. Who would you say was the best tag team of 2005?
It'd be tough to say. For the past, I guess, 3 years now, I've given that award to America's Most Wanted and TNA.
Right.
Are we talking WWE now, or are we talking TNA?
Both. Whatever.
I mean, I'd be hard-pressed to go against AMW, even though I got to be honest that it's kind of changed a little bit for them. They haven't been really utilized quite as much as they have been in the past. So it's tough to really say. But they definitely...
the year they kind of took a backseat to the Naturals, who really came into their own this year.
Right, they did come into their own. I like Chase Stevens a lot, and I like Andy Douglas. He's not bad either. I think Chase Stevens is actually the better of the two, though, in my opinion. In watching the shows, though, I think AMW's kind of taken a backseat, as you said. So the Naturals are good. The Heartthrobs are whatever they are. Kane and Big Show are a nice mongrel tag team.
Yeah.
Didn't expect to see that. I kind of like the LOD, but I'm
They
gonna.
were one of the surprise hits this year. I didn't expect them to be as successful as they were.
Well, I mean, hopefully they won't drop it as much as we seem to be thinking that they will. I think they're a solid tag team. I think if they keep them around, they'd be valuable.
Yeah, Animal's still really good in the ring, and I don't see how Heidenreich could be successful without him.
Yeah,
he's not that good of a singles wrestler.
Right. What they need to do, though, and I keep begging this at the beginning, is buy him a pair of those LOD pants. I don't like.
The only part of the attire he hasn't changed to, isn't it?
Yes, and I don't like the red underpants. They don't do it for me. But
do you remember what I called him?
Was it gay kickbox or something?
Yeah, the gay Ivan Drago.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. But I'm going to give the tag team of the year to a new sensation, and it's as much for their valet as it is for their in-ring style, which is phenomenal in and of itself. And that is Eminem.
Absolutely. Even though they had the legs cut out from under them just recently, they lost the tag titles to Batista and Ray, which I thought was a mistake. But yeah, I can't remember the last time in the WWE. I would say since the Hardy Boy, Edge and Christian era, like in 2000, they're the best tag team since then.
Yeah.
Like their gimmick, their valet, their in-ring style. Johnny Nitro has really come a long way from the first time I saw him.
Right, and Joey Mercury.
Really
and
yeah,
Joey Mercury, also known as Joey Matthews, has always been a fantastic tag team performer. So
Absolutely.
putting him in there with Johnny Nitro, a young guy who really is a diamond in the rough in of sorts from the Tough Enough Challenge. I mean, he's one of the few guys that have actually survived in the WWE.
Yeah, the Tough Enough didn't really pay off for them, did it? I mean, they didn't get any good talent from there.
Not really, no.
Except for Johnny Nitro. I really like Chris Nowinski. It's a shame he got injured when he did.
Yeah, it was nice to see him a couple weeks ago on Raw.
I missed it. I missed
Yeah, he came on for a second and tried to propose him being the new Raw GM.
Oh, well, maybe they should sign him, because he's a good character.
Well, I mean, he is signed to a contract. He's got one of the...
They should make him the GM.
Right. He's signed to a contract the same way that Hillbilly Jim is signed to a contract, in that when they go from town to town with the Road to WrestleManias and stuff like that, he's good with people, so they say, okay, you're going to go ahead and walk around the mall and shake people's hands.
Hey, that's good.
Public relations, it works. Yeah, it works, and he gets paid. And he could be like Ron Simmons and gets schnockered on the bus. That was great. I loved it. He was drunk. That was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You were interviewing before or after he got drunk?
He smelled the liquor while I was there, and then later on I saw him, and he was kind of wobbling around. I was like, wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Alrighty, well, okay, how about the Divas? There are a lot of new girls came in this year. Who would you say is the Diva of the year?
You know, if you asked me 6 months ago, I never would have given you this answer. But I'm going to go ahead and give you this answer now. Diva of the Year for 2005, I'm going to go ahead and give that to either Trish Stratus or Candice Michelle.
Really? That's kind of a surprising answer. Want to explain that, Candice Michelle?
Well, Candice has learned a lot since she got there. When she first got there, I thought she was absolutely abysmal. She first appeared, as far as I recall anyway, as a guest on Jericho's highlight reel.
I believe she was a contestant in the Raw Diva Search last year.
She was, but I mean, this is the first time they really brought her out and was like, oh, she was on the Super Bowl, something like that.
Yeah.
And they actually tried to make a big deal of her. And it took a while for her to catch on, but now they're actually putting her in there. She's not a great worker. She's not a great performer, but damn, she's hot.
Yes, we loved that Catwoman outfit, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. And the way she crawled to the ring, too.
Awesome stuff.
Well, that was good, and I also think, and I probably shouldn't give her another award because I already gave her as tag team, but Melina is phenomenal as well.
She's my pick for Diva of the Year, actually, just because, A, she's hot as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Batista, you're one lucky son of a bitch. I want to say that. If for those of us who watched SmackDown last week.
You do know that that's not real, don't you?
I know, but just the idea that he got to sleep with her, I was like, man, you bastard.
I gotta be honest with you, though. If I was him, number one, I would not be done in time for my match. And number two, I probably wouldn't have the energy to go face the tag team champions of the world. Just a random thought. But still.
Batista, man.
Well, yeah.
Batista, he's a world champion. He's immortal. He can do anything.
In the wrestling business, that's called getting yourself over.
Yep. Absolutely. So, yeah, I really like Melina, too. Like I said, she's absolutely gorgeous. And I love that entrance.
Yeah, that entrance, the entrance is phenomenal. And she's actually...
She's great on the mic.
She's great on the mic, and she's pretty good in the ring, too.
Yeah. Which I was kind of hoping at Survivor Series that they would put the women's title on her, because I was hoping they could build an interpromotional feud between her and Trish that would lead into WrestleMania.
Well, they could have done that with the tag belts as well at Armageddon, because I thought that the tag belts were initially going to be on the line.
Uh-huh.
And after Batista and Ray won the tag belts on that SmackDown, it seemed like that went out the window, and instead it was a non-title tag match between the two champions.
Which is kind of lame.
Which really sucks, to be honest with you. I thought they should have had the belts on the line. This way, whoever would have won would have gotten both tag team titles. And then you could have more invasions. But I think the brand extension is in and of itself becoming less important. Like, for example, JBL appeared on Raw this week, and nobody seemed to think twice about that.
Well, he always goes over to the troops, and that's like his staple, is what he's known for.
He's a good guy. In that regard, he definitely is.
Yeah. Plus, he's also one of the WWE's best when it comes to public relations and stuff like that.
Yes, I can speak for that personally, because I did a good interview with him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was good to speak with him, and he was like, you can ask him anything, and he doesn't get flustered. But sometimes you can ask him the wrong question. Like somebody asked him recently, what do you think of Juventud Guerrera? He's a retard. Don't listen to him. So sometimes you can ask JBL the wrong question.
Yeah, well, he's got that Texan attitude behind all the fancy schmancy.
He's a retard. Don't listen. I love that. He really doesn't like Juventud Guerrera, that's for sure.
Well, apparently nobody does. I hear he's getting a lot of heat backstage, which is probably why he lost the Cruiserweight title to Kid Cash.
Well, I think the reason he's getting the heat is because he's proposing stupid ideas. Here's an idea that Juventud Guerrera proposed to the writing team this week. Ready for this? Because you might have to sit down for it.
Okay. I'm sitting.
How about the juice against Rey Mysterio mask for mask? Well, Hoovy, you don't wear a mask. No, I can start putting it on for the feud. Okay. Here's another idea that he's proposed. How about the talk show called The Juice is Loose? Hoovy, you barely speak English. I don't know. And then JBL mentioned, you noticing that all his ideas are only for him? And that's
not
pretty
Mexico, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much why he became a retard, as JBL put it.
Yeah. Oh well. Poor Hoovy and his stupid ideas.
In WCW when he still wore the mask, it would have been okay if they did a mask for mask match. And I think they might have. I don't remember who he lost his mask to. Do you?
No.
I think it was Chris Jericho, as a matter of fact. Because Jericho started...
Hoovy ever wearing a mask? I'm sure he did, but I don't remember ever seeing him with it.
He wore a mask in WCW, and Jericho started collecting trophies of sorts.
Uh-huh.
And in a mask versus hair match, I think it was, Jericho beat Hoovy and unmasked him. And then Jericho started wearing the mask on his head when he came to the ring as an entrance, and he started collecting things that he'd win, like he beat Chavo Guerrero one week, and he came out with Pepe the next week.
Wow.
The stick horse.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yes, I do, actually. Pepe the stick horse.
Damn thing. Poor damn thing. You know what happened to it, right?
Somebody killed it, if I recall.
Hold on. Yes, as I recall, it was Norman Smiley, as a matter of fact, took it and threw it in a wood mulcher. And you just saw the little wood chips go...
Poor Pepe. First of all, why was Chavo talking to a wooden horse?
He was doing a crazy gimmick at the time.
He was Captain Loco, wasn't he? Lieutenant Loco?
Yeah, that was later, but
Yeah, okay.
he wasn't crazy he wasn't crazy at that point, but his name was Lieutenant Loco.
You're right.
But in '98, he played a crazy gimmick because supposedly Eddie Guerrero drove him insane.
Wow. WCW. Yay.
Some of that stuff was fun, though.
Yeah. Some of it was. I remember WCW, some of the stuff they did in the late 90s was just weird, though.
Such as what?
The feud with the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan was a little weird, but...
Well, didn't they just do that this past week? Yeah, they did. And it was with The Undertaker.
Oh, man, not only was that stupid, but they ripped it off from somebody else.
They just did something very similar, like, don't you see it? Don't you see it? Remember when Hogan was talking to the mirror that had the reflection of the Ultimate Warrior?
Yes, I do. That was awesome.
Now, let's count the things that were wrong with that. Okay, first things first. Hogan started talking to the mirror before the Warrior actually appeared.
Right.
Second of all, we all could see it then. On TV. And so did the announcers see it. Actually, no, the announcers pretended they didn't see it, even though we all saw it on TV. So they're like, what's he talking to? And so is Bischoff talking like that. But the fans all know that he's talking to the Warrior because we all see it on the monitors.
Right.
It's just like, what's going on?
It was like when Lita revealed that she was pregnant, and she's like backstage, and she's like, I have to tell Matt that I'm pregnant. And like everybody in the whole goddamn world it's like
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ambush this guy in his locker room because chances are he's not hearing us right now.
Or Triple H reveals his master plan to get Batista to switch over to SmackDown right before WrestleMania.
Right, in the ring. Assuming in the ring he did that nonetheless. And
no, backstage.
Oh yeah.
Backstage. Yeah.
Right. And Batista just happens to have heard it because he's standing around the corner. He could have just been in front of a television screen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know.
Man, that's why I hate that. That's why I tend to hate that backstage stuff, because it makes absolutely no sense.
I don't mind it if it's done with a little reality in mind.
Well, one more example. I've got another one. I remember one they did a few years ago where Triple H was talking to Stephanie backstage. I don't remember what it was about. But somebody barged in on him, and he was like, hey, you knock. We're having a private conversation here. I'm like, what?
We're having a private conversation. You're not invited. It's me, Stephanie, and anybody who owns a TV set. Not you, pal.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, let's continue on. We're going off.
We're going off topic, I think. Off topic, off topic, off topic.
Absolutely. Okay. How about some of the best matches that have occurred this year? What were some of your favorites?
I gotta be honest with you, it's been kind of a bad year in wrestling, in my opinion.
Really?
For great matches. But I do have quite a few on my list.
Uh-huh.
Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle from WrestleMania was great.
That's everybody's match of the year. I think that would be mine, too.
Everybody except the Shawn Michaels mark. Because they were not happy that he lost to WrestleMania. But that's the real reason that a lot of people, that some Shawn Michaels fans didn't like that match.
Well, I'm a Shawn Michaels fan, and I liked it. So.
Yes. It was a great match. It just was a great match. And if you really think about it, the intricacies of the match were spectacular as well, with Jim Ross making the call that Shawn Michaels can't wrestle Angle. So at the beginning of the match, Angle out-wrestles Michaels the entire way, and the only way Michaels can get back in the match is to go towards a more sports entertainment, high-flying style, which is why you brought in the table spot and things of that nature.
By the way, that was a cool table spot.
Yes.
Even though the table didn't break, that just looked really cool.
Well, it looked like it probably hurt worse than if the table would have broken.
Yeah, good point. But, yeah, that was a fantastic match. I tend to be underwhelmed by some of Kurt Angle's matches. I thought his match with Brock was heavily overrated.
Right, and I actually think his match with Eddie, even though it might not be popular to say at this point in time, from WrestleMania 20 was also a little overrated.
I wasn't a fan of their whole series of matches, to be honest with you. No disrespect to either guy, but I just didn't like their matches.
I think that they had a really good match on SmackDown, and nobody remembers it. I thought their match...
this year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought that match on SmackDown was better than any of their matches, including last year's WrestleMania and last year's SummerSlam.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
I would probably agree with you. I remember that match. First of all, SummerSlam last year, the crowd ruined that whole card.
That was last year's, yes.
Yeah, that was a mess. But this year's SummerSlam, which I attended, and I'm going to keep bragging about that until the day I die, because there were a lot of very good matches on this card. John Cena versus Chris Jericho was absolutely amazing, not only because of the in-ring action, but because of the crowd reaction.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it, but when you're watching the match, and if you go rent the movie or get it off Netflix or go pick it up at Best Buy or whatever, buy it, if you watch the match, unless they edit the crowd noise, the crowd seems to somewhat turn on Cena halfway through.
I bought the DVD, they didn't edit it.
Oh, good.
They left it alone, yeah.
That's good to know.
Yes, it is. And, yeah, that was really cool to be sitting in that crowd going, let's go Cena, let's go Jericho, let's go Cena. That was really fun.
I don't think the fans really wanted to let Jericho go. I think that's really why. Because I think a lot of us knew that this would be one of Jericho's last appearances for a while.
Right.
And Jericho, even a half-motivated Jericho, is better than most.
Absolutely.
So I think we were just kind of like, well, we kind of want Cena to win, the Marcus crowd, but we don't want to see Jericho leave. So they kind of switched sides a little bit.
Right. Well, the way I saw it, I was sitting in that crowd, and the way I saw it, it's like, okay, we got the rock star versus the rap star, and I'll be damned if I root for rap, okay?
Right.
I even stood up in the crowd. I don't know if I told this story when I reviewed it on one of our shows, but I stood up in the crowd and I yelled out, hey, rock is better than rap! And I got like 50 people turning around and it's like, oh no, you didn't just say that. And the guy next to me was like, dude, you might want to sit down and take that back. We're in D.C.
Yeah, you're in Washington, D.C. They're not exactly...
They're not nice people.
They're not exactly the nicest people in the world. That's right. Yeah, that's...
Anybody who watched the Cowboy-Redskins game last weekend can see that.
Oh, and that was an embarrassment for the Cowboys, too. They got killed.
Yes, it was. That was sad.
Were you a Cowboy? Well, you're a Cowboys fan?
I'm more of a Cowboys fan than I am a Redskins fan, yeah.
Well, I'm a Giants fan, so I was happy on Saturday.
Oh, I'm a huge Giants fan. My grandfather actually played for him way back in the day, so I kind of have to root for him. Yeah. Good old Tuffy Lehman. Look him up. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Yeah?
That's something to brag about right there.
Yes, it is. I like bragging about it. Good. Forget the fact that I have about a quarter of the athletic ability that he had, but, yeah, whatever.
I don't know. Speaking of athletic ability, okay. I find that I'm a 24-year-old male with arthritis. I just wanted to throw that in there. That pisses me off when I wake up in the morning and my legs don't want to work.
That's not good at all, man.
It hurts, but then I have a medication and it makes everything all better.
Yay, medication.
Yes.
Yay. All right.
Where were we now? Other great match of the year would be TNA's match. I believe it was a three-way between Daniels, Styles, and Samoa Joe.
Yes, that was an awesome match.
Was that off Unbreakable?
That was.
Yes.
The last pay-per-view before they went to Spike.
It was Unbreakable then.
Right.
That was
Unbreakable or Sacrifice, I'm not sure.
Right. I want to say it was Unbreakable, but I could be wrong.
Okay, but yeah, that was an absolutely amazing match, and AJ won the X Division Gold for the 20th time, I think.
Yeah. I don't understand why they don't bring Jerry Lynn into the division.
Well, they had him in one match that I really enjoyed, was at, I don't remember which pay-per-view it was, but it was between Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman. And I thought that same card had AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, and that was a great match, but I personally thought that Jerry Lynn and Sean Waltman stole the show.
I'll agree with you. I almost want to say it was Slammiversary, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't. Because Slammiversary was the King of the Mountain match.
Could it be No Surrender?
Could be, yeah.
It was right before Waltman went missing.
Yeah, him.
Yes, and pretty much ruined Jerry Lynn's career.
Yeah, because they were going to do a feud between those two, and then he walked. So I'd like to see them bring Jerry Lynn in and have him feud with Samoa Joe.
Those two, by the way, Lynn and Waltman, have a history together.
They played that up.
Oh, yeah.
They even showed footage from their old matches like 13 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, well, those were some of the matches I watched when I just started really, really, really getting involved in wrestling.
Uh-huh.
From about 1990. I mean, I was watching wrestling way back when, but when I really started taking it seriously, those were some of the matches that helped suck me in because they were just so damn good.
And what promotion was that? Was that Global Championship Wrestling?
Global Wrestling Federation, yes.
Global Wrestling Federation, okay.
GWF.
Excellent, excellent.
I love that big red ring.
Big red ring.
Yep, they had the red mat.
I bet that looked weird.
It looked real cool, actually.
It did? All right.
I liked it, and then I also noticed that Halloween Havoc 1990 from WCW actually had the same red ring.
Was that the one where they had the Chamber of Horrors?
I don't think so, no.
No, okay. That was a horror.
The main event was Sting against Sid Vicious.
Okay. Well, that's actually decent.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Other great matches this year. Well, let's continue the trend with TNA. I thought three of the best matches this year occurred in the first pay-per-view, which was the Final Resolution. We got the best tag team match I've seen in probably like a decade. That would be America's Most Wanted versus Team Canada.
Yeah, that was a great match, too.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
You can actually pick that up. Sorry, I'm just going to say that you can actually pick that up at virtually every Walmart right now.
Right. Have they released that yet?
I believe they have.
Excellent. I'll be sure to pick that up because I want to see that match again. That was a very good tag team match.
Final Resolution and Lockdown, I know, were released.
Excellent. Great.
Yep.
Another match that I thought was really good, and it's really, when I see matches like this, it makes me sad when I look back on it because Monty Brown had so much potential then, and they just flushed it all down the drain. But Monty Brown and Jeff Jarrett had a fantastic match at Final Resolution.
Absolutely. It's the whole Hulk Hogan thing. Monty
Yeah.
Brown was a monster, and he couldn't be stopped. You couldn't...
Go ahead.
He wouldn't die.
No, I believe they said on the website, they had like up in the header, Jeff Jarrett retains the title using everything short of a stun gun to beat Monty Brown. Which was pretty much true, but yeah. I liked how Monty Brown has his own hulking up thing that he does.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett would punch him, and then he would just like stand up and rub his head on the ropes and then come right at Jarrett and kick his ass. I was like, wow, that's good stuff.
Monty Brown's got a lot of potential still. They just need to make a decision. Is he heel? Is he face? And then push him in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he's a good heel, but he had so much momentum going for him as a face, and it's just like, this guy was just born to be a babyface.
He seems too likable.
Yeah.
And having spoken to him, he just is a likable guy.
Right. He's got a ton of charisma, and that's very important in wrestling.
Yep.
Especially in a day and age where a lot of the young guys don't seem to have it.
Yeah, because they're used to working high school gyms in front of 38 people. And they're not used to, having to actually work the crowd, and as such, they don't hone those skills.
No.
All right.
Well, was it JBL who said it, that the kids are learning the moves, but they're not learning wrestling?
Yes. Once again, JBL with an eloquent quote.
Excellent. Alrighty. And the third match on this show that I thought was fantastic was, for those of you who were disappointed with the Ultimate X match at Bound for Glory, I highly recommend that you pick up a DVD of Final Resolution and check out the one between Petey Williams, Chris Sabin, and AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah. That was a great match.
That was an amazing match.
Now, granted, there are way too many Ultimate X matches going around these days.
Yeah.
1 month before Final Resolution, I believe there was a free one, which nobody seems to remember was actually their first primetime special, wherein they were on the Best Damn Sports Show period. They had 2 nights of that, which was called the Best Damn Wrestling Event period.
Uh-huh.
And an Ultimate X match was on there, which is really good. Then there was this one, and I think there have been about 37 since.
Probably. That would be the next idea, a pay-per-view with all Ultimate X matches.
Yes.
If Dusty Rhodes were still around, they'd do it. But.
I'd hire John Tenta to be in that match.
I'm sure he'd do real well.
I'd like to see those poles just cave inward.
That might be good, just for a visual. Get King Kong Bundy, John Tenta, and somebody else who's really fat. The Loch Ness Monster.
Or Rikishi or something, I don't know.
Yeah, just have all four of them hang on all four sides and go 1, 2, 3, and just jump off and see how long it takes before the cable.
Not only that, I'm so pissed at China right now. You know what we should all do?
What?
We should all tilt the world lopsided. Everybody on the count of 3, jump up and down. 1, 2, 3. Sorry.
Why are we jumping up and down?
Because I believe that the weight shift of us going up in the air and then coming down would cause a tidal wave of effect that would send the worlds off its axis and turn them upside down so they don't fall off the face of the earth.
Why do we want China? When you say I'm mad at China, I thought you were talking about, like, Joni Lauer.
Well, I am mad at her, too, but for different reasons.
Okay. Okay. Okay, more great matches.
Mostly because she thinks she can sing.
You're kidding, right?
No. Pick up 101 Reasons Not to Be a Professional Wrestler. It starts out with her singing a stupid song. You guys, we interviewed Michael Moody on the show. Listen to this. She starts out the show just singing this incoherent babble, and she seems to think it's good. Green's my favorite color.
Never mind, so.
Green, I want to be a flower. Green.
She's drugged out of her mind,
Yeah.
too, so, yeah.
Yeah, but here's what pisses me off.
Okay.
Her brother's also there, explaining that China is a name that the fans gave her, and that's how she kept it. And Michael Moody, who, in his infinite wisdom, and I give him credit for this, actually asked the question, how the hell did the fans give her that name? And he's like,
That's not true. She came in with that name.
yeah, he says, well, it's just something about her personality that screams China. I'm like, okay, she's not Asian, that I'm aware of. It doesn't look like an Asian. She doesn't strike me as anything that would be Oriental in the slightest. I don't know what the hell would scream China about her. And here's the part of that really aggravates my gear. Using a Peter Griffinism, grinds my gears. Ready?
Grinds my gears.
Sitting right next to this incoherent idiot that is China's brother is the hottest porn star I have ever seen, Tabitha Stevens. Yes, he is dating Tabitha Stevens. I hate him.
Wow.
I hate him. But as Michael Moody put it on our show, and I don't know, I think I might have cut this out, well, they're both cokeheads. So, there you go.
No surprise there.
Yeah, but still.
Anyway.
Still, I hate
where
him.
were we?
Can I still say that
Where
again?
were we? Oh, we kind of got off track there. Where were we?
We were talking about some of the greatest matches of the year. So why don't we give a more concise list here?
Okay, well, my personal favorite this year, aside from Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania, will be Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam.
You know what? I'm going to sit here and double that, or second that, in that I think this was also a phenomenal match. And here's why. Nobody knew what was possibly going to happen.
No.
And regardless if you liked what happened or not, you were on the edge of your seat during the whole damn thing. And I'll give you an example of that right now.
Uh-huh.
Shawn Michaels is going up to the top rope to do an elbow drop.
Right.
You're in attendance. The crowd is all chanting, "We want Brett."
Yeah.
Michaels mouths to the camera, "You want Brett?" He comes off the top rope and puts Hogan in the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
And we are all waiting for either the bell to ring or for Bret Hart's music to come playing and Bret Hart to come out.
Yeah.
And we see somebody charging from the back and sliding into the ring, and we're all looking, is that Bret? Is that Bret? And we see the referee, and he runs to Hogan, and you think he's going to just ring the bell.
Yeah.
And for about 35 seconds, we're all just sitting at the edge of our seat. What's going to happen here? And then
Obviously, there were no huge surprises, but just the emotion that was there during the match was enough to sell it.
Right.
In my opinion.
And
of course, I was one of few who knew that I don't know why, but it seems like I'm the only one who actually knew that Brett was not going to show.
I still, even at the last second, thought that there was a chance.
Uh-huh.
And even though I knew that he was a good hour away doing an autograph signing and Q&A, which, by the way, is hysterical, and I have seen clips of it, and there's actually clips of Tammy Sitch looking like a blimp, walking up to Brett saying, "You know you're the best fuck you ever had." Sorry.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
With all the divas, it seems like they're hot for a while, then they all go to hell. China and Sonny and...
Well, I never think China was hot at all, so...
Well, no, she looks like Charlton Heston, but... God, look at that chin. I was like, wow, they perfected cloning and...
Damn dirty apes.
Wow, that's great.
She's going to come back and wrestle Jacqueline and call her a damn dirty ape. Sorry, that's racist. Racist! I'm a racist. Sorry.
Okay, alrighty.
Making a joke.
Great matches. Well, one match, well, wait, let's just, well, screw that. I just had a brain fart. One match that I thought was really good. Well, for one thing, we got a lot of good matches for free on free TV. Some of those include Randy Orton versus Christian, Shelton Benjamin versus Shawn Michaels.
That one was really good too, by the way. Benjamin versus Michaels. That had one of the better finishes I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, where he did the springboard super kick?
Yeah, he almost came across the ring, and I keep saying this and nobody seems to believe me, but as much as the kick could have possibly knocked him out, the way that his body just swung backwards from it and hit the mat, that'll knock the air out of you. Which was just a phenomenal finish, because it looked like he was really knocked out.
Yeah.
Which I give him credit for. He might not be very charismatic, but the damn guy's athletic.
Yes, he is. And Shelton Benjamin, if you put him in there with somebody like Jericho or Shawn Michaels, you will get a great match.
Yes. Unfortunately, you can't put him in there with Carlito and get a great match.
He had some good matches with Carlito.
But the only thing is, Carlito's the only one, or that's the only guy Carlito can ever actually beat.
You can't beat Ric Flair, a guy who's 40 years older than him, but he can beat Shelton Benjamin.
I can't understand it, but Carlito can never win a match unless he's in there with Shelton Benjamin.
I don't know.
Then he just can't lose.
Wow.
Yeah? He's Goldberg against Benjamin.
It's the only person he's beaten all year, I think. I can't think of any other time he won.
Entirely possible. Well, he did beat Cena once. With Jericho's help.
Oh, no, he beat him on Raw, didn't he?
With Jericho's help as a special referee.
Right, okay. Some other great matches that we got for free. On SmackDown, one match that we got that I thought was fantastic was between JBL and The Undertaker, where Randy Orton revealed that he was the second draft pick and threw Taker out of the match. Do you remember this one? Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I liked Batista and JBL in the Bull Rope match. I thought that was a very good match.
Surprisingly, JBL did not like that match. JBL said that match had no chemistry.
He did break his nose.
But I will say this, that was a great match watching on TV, because if you knew the match between he and Eddie, if you had that in your mind, and as you saw him doing the exact same thing, you're thinking, no, Batista, don't make the same mistake. And of course he does it, and he hits the spine buster and he wins.
I don't know, Batista and JBL seem to be really down on their matches. I don't think their matches were that bad.
Me neither, really.
I thought their match at SummerSlam was good. I mean, they weren't 5-star classics, except I take that back. I really liked their Bull Rope match, but you know,
they were pretty stiff, some of those matches.
Yeah, well.
But the thing is, though, and this is something the internet needs to realize, and I'm sorry if I'm bashing you guys who are listening to me, but stiffness is not necessarily a bad thing. It's okay to be stiff. You wouldn't make a habit of it, but with those two guys, what are you going to get? You're going to get stiffness. It's like Hogan and Mike Awesome had a match on Nitro once.
Right.
It was a really good match. But the internet panned it saying it was stiff. Well, you got two guys that are 6'5" and up that are beating the crap out of each other. I think that's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, if it looks like they're really beating the crap out of each other, that makes it all the more interesting. I think, like, Matt Hardy and Edge, some of their matches look like a legitimate fist fight the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you'll never know how much of that was real.
No, we never will. Well, I don't know. Both guys seem to be professional, and I don't think they would have kept putting them together if there was unprofessional behavior going on.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Edge and Matt Hardy had some really good matches. Their cage match, I thought, was their best one.
Yes, and that spot was pretty sick, that leg drop off the top.
Yeah, that was nasty. That one we actually had to pay for, so great stuff there. Well, what were some other great matches?
About 37 people did, too.
Okay, the two best feuds this year, in my opinion.
Well, did we decide on what the best match of the year was?
Best match? I think we pretty much decided it was Angle and Michaels.
I think Angle Michaels, and I think honorary mentions go to the three-way match between AJ, Daniels, and Samoa Joe, and Hogan and Michaels from SummerSlam.
Yeah, those were probably the three best.
I'll give those two honorable mentions, and the best one was Michaels and Angle from WrestleMania.
Right, and my two picks for the greatest feuds this year, and they were both SmackDown feuds. It was, first of all, it was the last great feud with Eddie Guerrero, who unfortunately passed away, was it like a month ago?
Yeah, a little bit over a month.
Yeah, his feud with Rey Mysterio, though, they had some fantastic matches every pay-per-view.
Yep.
They were consistently the best match on the card.
Yep, those two worked really well together, and it's one of the few times that we've seen a feud extend for quite some time. You rarely see a feud go from WrestleMania to SummerSlam these days.
No, yeah, and they kept carrying it on forever and ever and ever. And Ray won all the matches up until the first Friday Night SmackDown, where Eddie finally got the win in their cage match, which was also really good. But I don't know, something about the chemistry they had together that, hey, yeah, Eddie's lost like 50 times. I really shouldn't care at this point, but, their matches are just so damn good that I just have to keep watching.
Yep, I agree.
And they were all different, too. That's what I like. That's what makes a good feud, when you have two guys that wrestle over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
If the matches are different, that makes it all the more fun to keep going back and watching their matches.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, unlike Carlito and Ric Flair, who had the same identical match 2 nights in a row.
It wasn't the same. Flair wore green trunks that one night. That's different. Shut up. It's the same match. Sorry, I get tough on the Flair marks. I even posted, if you read our news story about Ric Flair getting divorced, I made a comment afterwards. No word yet on how many internet marks I've offered to marry Flair in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm so hard on the net marks, but maybe I just don't get why they're so pro Flair. That's all. But hey, if you haven't yet, click the banner and you can buy the Ric Flair 3-disc collection off our website.
Yeah, you know what? I've gone into like Blockbuster 20 times and I keep seeing that just there on the rack, and I've never picked it up for whatever reason. But
you can actually rent it?
No, but in the section that they have where you can buy the DVDs, it's been there every single time I've gone, but I've never picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. But I got the Undertaker one.
I've actually seen the Flair one.
Any good?
It's not bad.
Are any of his matches with Steamboat on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might pick it up just for those, but yeah, I love Ricky Steamboat, yay.
They actually have a match between Flair and Sting from Saturday Night, too, on there.
Oh, wow.
Which is surprising, because seeing Saturday Night was kind of cool.
Okay.
I like the Saturday Night set.
Yeah, I like that old set, too. I loved WCW when it was just Saturday Night's main event, and they had the pay-per-views, like, what was it, once every 4 months or something like that?
Yeah, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was small time, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the idiot Bill Watts came in and said, "No jumping off the top rope.
No throwing your opponents outside the ring."
Okay, so basically we're having a match inside the ring where you can do body slams and rest holds. Okay, great.
That was lame. I remember, what match was it? I bought one of their pay-per-views, and it was Coco Beware versus somebody in the first match, and Coco backdropped the guy over the top rope, and he got disqualified, and I was like, how's that work? I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's a different animal in that company, or it was at that point in time.
Yeah. But,
Oh, funny little tidbit that Lanny gave me before we went recording.
Uh-huh.
On Rob Van Dam's One of a Kind DVD.
Right.
Lanny Poffo gets royalties from the sales of that because Lanny Poffo evidently was Rob Van Dam's idol growing up.
Really?
Yes, and they showed a clip of Lanny, and Lanny gets royalties off of that because they use his image.
Really?
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam, his idol was Lanny Poffo.
Yep.
That's pretty.
He said that's why he wanted to do things like moonsaults, because Lanny actually was one of the first Americans to do it. And granted, he did take him from Tiger Mask. But...
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, even, you know, a lot of people tend to look down on Lanny Poffo as like an insignificant career, but all you ECW marks, you can thank Lanny Poffo for giving you your golden boy.
Yep.
ECW's big trademark Hulk Hogan guy or whatever. And he never won the world title, did he?
ECW world title? No.
No, that's kind of a surprise, but...
He was the TV champion, which virtually meant the same thing as the world title for quite a while there. It was more important than, say, a U.S. title. But it was still... But it wasn't the world title.
Yeah, didn't he hold it for like 22 months or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, alright.
I remember when he won that match, I was up to 2 in the morning watching it on MSG or ESPN or Channel 10 Public Access or whatever channel it was on at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I loved it. I loved living on the East Coast. You actually get local channels, by the way, guys. And for those of you listening here in Arizona, you don't get local channels. If your local channel shows Frasier and Friends, it's not a local channel. Okay? It might say that it's Arizona, but it's not a local channel. Okay. A local channel shows Wayne's World. Not the actually produced thing.
Stuff like it.
Stuff like Wayne's World. Some idiots in their basement with a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what ECW aired on.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's good.
Hey, as long as it was on TV, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I actually had an idea for the main event or One Night Stand before Rob Van Dam got injured. My idea was to have Rhino versus RVD for the world title and have RVD win the ECW world title.
Sure.
But then he got injured and they had to scrap that. So.
Is RVD ever coming back?
He's supposed to come back in January. That's what I've been told.
Probably Royal Rumble then.
He could be a surprise entrant.
No, I mean, he's been gone forever. It's actually been a year now.
Long time. Gone a long time. Okay, getting back to our best of 2005 here.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a cluster, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's all right.
I like clusters. I like it. I'm enjoying it.
Yes, clusters are very good. If you ever had a chance, pick one up at Dunkin' Donuts.
I agree with you. Very good.
Yes.
Very good. Another one of my favorite feuds this year has been between who, in my opinion, is the best young star to come around in probably since the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels era. That would be Randy Orton challenging The Undertaker for their never-ending feud that has been virtually entertaining from start to finish, except for that 1 week of stupidity where The Undertaker possesses announcers and makes evil visions appear in Randy's head that we all can see but nobody else can. But other than that, it's been very good.
Yeah, I mean, they should not be copying the worst things that happen in WCW.
No.
But yes, I do think that's been a fair feud. I got to be honest with you, though, about that feud. I've really lost a lot of interest in Randy Orton over the past year.
Really?
And I'm not sure why, but I just think that he's just lost a lot of steam.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I think having him lose to The Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell was a mistake. I think Randy should have gotten the win there, but I think come WrestleMania time, you're going to see Randy win the title. And maybe you'll see him at his best.
Maybe so. I hope so. But right now, I think Randy's kind of lost a little bit of his steam. I also think that it might have been a little too soon. It was like a week and a half after Eddie's death to drive his own car, a lowrider, through the windshield and supposedly kill The Undertaker in his own car. I did not like that. I didn't think that was too nice to do.
Too nice? Well, I don't know. They did a lot of great tributes to Eddie, too, so kind of down.
I give them credit for that, but I don't know. By the way, the Raw show, if I might say so, as cool as it is to see them pay tribute to the troops, if I had to sit through one more of the Jackass from Creed's songs, I was about to put my fist through the screen. Number one, they sound all the same, and number two, they didn't sound that good to begin with.
Oh, man.
There was like a video package filling up half of every segment, and they all were some Jackass from Creed's songs.
Yep.
Because the matches were like 13 seconds apiece, except for the main event.
I wonder why that was.
I don't know. Maybe they were kind of thrown off by the wind. I don't know. Or because it's cold.
Tired. I don't know.
All I know is that was not their best performance. That was not the best Raw show I've seen in quite some time.
Personally, if I had to pick one, I think the best Raw this year would probably be the tribute to Eddie Guerrero.
You got some great matches out of that. There was very little story behind any of them, but still.
There was Ray versus Shawn Michaels.
Great match.
Orton and Cena was actually decent. Not sure I could think of.
Only vaguely remember Orton and Cena, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but
who won that match?
It was ended on a DQ. I think Cena won it.
By DQ, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was probably my favorite episode of Raw this year. Just to see all the outpouring of love and respect for one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen, Eddie Guerrero. Yeah.
And you could tell that a guy was good if Bobby Heenan was putting you over in WCW. Bobby Heenan was putting Eddie over like he was as important as Hogan. Because Bobby could see it. Bobby's been in wrestling for 40 years. Bobby knows. Look at him. He's phenomenal. This guy's great.
He's amazing.
Do something with him.
Yeah, well, he never, up until the day he died, he never lost a step in the ring. He was always good. From the first day I saw him to the last match I saw him have, which was
Ken Kennedy.
match with Ken Kennedy, yeah.
Speaking of which, newcomer of the year?
I would have to give that to Ken Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy.
It's a shame he's injured, though.
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Yeah, I love him. He's the greatest. It's a shame that he's injured, but it's a good thing that they're going to give him an Edge-style talk show starting starting somewhere soon. I guess when he's starting to turn the corner and start to be able to perform a little bit, they're going to put him in there until he's 100% as just a talker to keep his name fresh at least.
That's good, because I remember last year when Carlito got injured, they managed to keep him on TV, and he seemed to get even more over, just by talking.
Carlito's great. Unfortunately, he needs a finisher, and they gave him a finisher, and then everybody kicks out of it the next week, so...
Yeah, and they need to put him on a winning streak.
Or give him a few ones.
Benjamin is fine, but he needs to beat more people.
Yes, he needs to beat somebody important.
Like Shawn Michaels.
Yes, and I got kind of annoyed when Michaels won that match. And Ric Flair's still the Intercontinental Champion, and nobody seems to understand why. And he's wrestling such great contenders as Jonathan Coachman.
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing. Other great newcomers this year, though, I think Bobby Lashley has a lot of raw. He has that Goldberg feel to him, raw power and intensity, and hopefully they utilize that. I actually had an idea for a feud for WrestleMania, interpromotional feud. Bobby Lashley versus Chris Masters, and I think they should let Bobby Lashley be the one to break the Master Lock.
That would probably get him over a lot.
Yeah, the only problem is they stopped doing the Master Lock Challenge, and then...
they could pick it up again.
Huh?
They could pick it up again.
Yeah, but at Survivor Series, when they were on opposing teams, I'm like, oh, wow, they need to have these two face off, and I don't think they were even at the ring at the same time, and then Lashley got jobbed out, unfortunately.
By a chokeslam from the outside of the ring in.
Yeah.
Man, that was not very cool. I didn't like that.
No. Especially my idea was to just have him brawl with Masters and let them get double counted out.
Well, that's what they used to do when they didn't want to beat a guy.
Yeah.
Get him DQ'd. Get him DQ'd. They didn't want to have Hacksaw Jim Duggan lose because the kids loved him. Hacksaw comes in with the board, hits everybody in the head with the board, gets DQ'd.
Yeah. And it's a simple formula, but it works. And it makes people, if you do it in a way where it's Lashley and Masters getting counted out, people will be salivating to see the match.
Right.
and see how it comes about. Like, I had an idea they could face off at the Royal Rumble, and then, you know, Masters could eliminate Lashley from the Rumble, and they could brawl to the outside again or something like that, leading up to the big match at Mania.
Absolutely.
But apparently I'm not on the same wavelength as the WWE bookers are, so.
No, you're thinking straight.
No, how dare you say, push Christian? What are you thinking? You're stupid.
That's ridiculous. Speaking of Christian, we got him coming up in just a few seconds, a few minutes maybe. But any other rewards we want to give out?
Any other awards? Thinking of, how about Superstar of the Year?
All right, we've done Diva of the Year, we've done Match of the Year, we've done Feud of the Year, we've done Newcomer of the Year. So let's talk about Superstar of the Year.
Oh, before that, because Superstar of the Year should be last, let's do Pay-Per-View of the Year. What do you think was the best pay-per-view?
Best pay-per-view of the year. I was underwhelmed by WrestleMania, to be honest with you. I thought there was some good matches on there, but I didn't think it was as good as it should have been.
It started off amazing. You got Eddie and Ray, that was good. Then you got the ladder match, and then you got
Hogan came out.
Hogan coming out, and then Undertaker and Orton, and then Michaels and Angle. I was like, wow, this is an awesome WrestleMania. But then I thought the Piper's Pit segment sucked.
Right.
Because I didn't think, I don't know, Austin just bores me. And then the 2 world title matches, I was very...
And him stunning Piper did nothing for me.
No.
I was like, look, that's just disrespectful.
Austin stunning anybody does nothing for me anymore.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I mean, I thought the Raw Homecoming, that whole segment where he stunned the McMahons was just so drawn out and so bad.
Well, it only took about 36 minutes.
Yeah. While Hogan only got like a minute, and the SmackDown guys got cut.
Yep.
Bad. But, yeah, WrestleMania, the major downfall of that show was the world title matches, I thought.
Yeah, because Cena versus JBL was very disappointing.
Yes.
When your announcers were even like, that's it, that's not good.
No.
And the main event, Batista has come a long way since then.
Yeah.
But in that match, for some reason, it was all Triple H, yes.
Yeah, carrying him, yeah. But, what was some other I thought Vengeance was a really good pay-per-view.
Vengeance was there was a second match between Michaels and Angle, was it not?
Yes.
That was a great match, too.
Right.
That was a great match. I don't remember what else was on that card, to be honest with you.
They had Batista and Triple H in Hell in a Cell. You mentioned, Batista's come a long way. Well,
yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
he beat the crap out of Triple H, put him out of action for quite a few months, storyline-wise.
Yeah, that was really good. That was an awesome pay-per-view. There was one other match on that card. I'm trying to think of it. Oh, it was Cena, Christian, and Chris Jericho in a triple threat for the WWE title.
Which we asked Christian about in just a few minutes.
Awesome.
Yes, we actually do ask him that question, by the way.
Awesome, yeah, that was a really good match, and I think it's the only single-brand pay-per-view in history to have 2 world title matches.
Oh, yeah. It's very possible, man.
And another great pay-per-view, of course, was SummerSlam. I was there. And of course, I'm going to say that one. SummerSlam. And, of course, I think the pay-per-view that everybody's going to say was the best was ECW One Night Stand.
That might well get my vote, and it's not because I'm a Paul Heyman or ECW mark. I am an ECW mark. I'm not a Paul Heyman mark. But it just felt cool, if that makes any sense. It just felt cool.
Absolutely. And there were no 5-star matches, or granted, all the matches were good.
Right.
There were nothing like 5-star mat or classics or anything, but it was just such an awesome feeling to see ECW again. And then Sandman making his entrance was one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was phenomenal. And that's the thing. Yes, but here's the thing. And I make this comment in my article about the WEW Hoedown pay-per-view, Celebrity Hoedown pay-per-view. They have a star there called G.I. Ho, who makes a similar entrance to the Sandman in that it goes on for about 38 minutes.
Right.
It goes on forever. The difference is, and even though I hate Metallica, the song seems to fit the entrance, and the entrance is so freaking cool because I don't know why it's cool to watch a guy like him, an uneducated guy who looks like crap, to be honest with you, walking around pouring beer on people with holding a kendo stick. I don't know why that's cool, but it is.
Yeah.
And I never get tired of seeing it. And the girl, G.I. Ho, just comes out and wiggles like she's an idiot to some white boy screeching to generic bed music. I don't get that entrance at all. I don't know why people pretend that it's so cool. It's not. It sucks.
Well, yeah, I would agree. And, a diva named G.I. Ho is not going to have the same charisma that the Sandman has.
No, but never mind.
Okay.
No, I'll just leave that one be.
Okay, yeah, so that's probably the best pay-per-view of the year. Superstar of the year. Who's your pick?
Superstar of the year. I'm going to give it to Batista.
I will do that as well. I thought, like you said, he's come a long way since WrestleMania, and especially since he's been on SmackDown, it seems like he's just been on fire.
And I give him
everything he does.
Absolutely. He's on par with John Cena in terms of popularity, but the difference is he always gets a steady reaction, and Cena sometimes gets a very bad reaction. Right.
Yeah.
So even though you can argue that Cena might be more popular in terms of merchandise sales and things,
yeah,
I think Batista has more of a consistent fan reaction, and that is the ultimate for a guy in this day of wrestling when everything is just so television-based.
Yeah, and he translates much better to TV, both in his ring work and just the crowd reactions. I mean, I last year I used to hate watching him because he was just so bad. And I'm like, wow, this guy's going to get a push to the world title. And now it's like, I flip on SmackDown, I look forward to seeing him.
Yeah. And he's worked, and another thing I want to give him credit for, though, and nobody will do this except us, because nobody else will think about it. The guy's worked hurt.
Yeah.
Eddie died a couple days after he tore a really bad muscle in his back, and everybody thought he would be out for 3 months. Because they lost Eddie, he had to stay. And he worked hard to protect himself, first of all, and second of all, never leave TV.
Right.
Never left.
Well, I mean, SmackDown's losing a lot of stars lately. They just lost Eddie, and they just lost Ken Kennedy, and they may lose Benoit. There's still rumors going around that he's going to leave. I think they might be playing us there, but we'll see what happens.
I actually asked Christian, and I'm not sure if it'll air in this interview or next week, what he thinks if we might see Chris Benoit make an appearance for TNA in the next coming future. And he says, never say never.
Never say never. Well, we'll see. I would personally love to see Benoit in TNA. I'd love to see what he can do with some of those younger guys. But, yeah, Batista, he's come a hell of a long way, and he's most improved superstar of the year for sure. And he's great. I love him.
How about, as TNA has it, the guy to watch?
Gotta watch.
The guy to watch in the future, next year.
Oh, boy. I don't know. I would say Christian Cage, but just because he's the hot young thing that they brought in, and I'm looking forward to seeing him main event with Jarrett.
Well, I'm saying, as TNA put it, because they have a poll on their website for the newcomer or the one to watch next year.
Who do they have on there?
I don't recall. But they just have it like who to watch for next year. And I'm just saying, who do you pick for the WWE or TNA? Gotta watch. I think Christian actually might be somebody to watch next year. I think Sting is somebody to watch for next year because you don't know what the hell they're going to do with him or how he'll be once he gets there. I think another guy you got to watch for is Lashley, though I think that he's going to fizzle out. I got to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to make it.
Who's Lashley?
Yes. I don't think he's going to make it.
The problem is I don't think he has a very strong voice, so he's obviously not good on the mic. He sounds like a child. I've heard the guy talk.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Does he sound like The Undertaker in Suburban Commando?
Not quite.
We're going to kick your ass!
No wonder you guys don't talk. I remember that. You're a dead man, Hogan, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And not surprisingly, that's the only time Undertaker's done any kind of acting. So. Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Guys, I think Randy Orton is going to come to his own. Well, I think he's already coming to his own, but I think he's going to take the top heel spot on SmackDown. You'll see him as the dominant world champion next year.
It's very possible. Very possible. Well, Patrick, it's been a hell of a year, 2005. I got to say, what'd you say?
A lot of craziness.
Yeah, I got to say, I hope 2006 makes a little bit more sense. It would certainly help, because I know a lot of people who are thinking about stopping watching wrestling because they're just getting so bored with the stupidity.
Yeah.
So hopefully 2006 will show a little bit of return to normalcy. And maybe they'll slow down a little bit, because that definitely needs to happen. That's what I hope.
They've been giving away way too many matches for free.
They have, but this is my complaint about booking too quickly, okay?
Yeah.
Triple H hits Ric Flair with a sledgehammer at Survivor Series.
Right.
The next night, a feud begins because that's such a dastardly act and he killed a legend.
Right.
The next week, Edge is in the ring talking about how Ric Flair, who's supposed to be recuperating in a hospital bed in Minnesota, went crazy in the Carolinas and committed road rage.
Right.
So how the hell did that happen? And the next week, Ric Flair comes out, not a scratch on him, and has a match.
Yeah, that was stupid. But in defense of WWE, that road rage incident actually got national attention. My sister, who doesn't really watch wrestling, she saw a glimpse of that. She actually called me and was like, "Why is Ric Flair on TV?" So, yeah. But that's probably why they brought it up on Edge's little interview segment. But, yeah, they need to cut out. They need people to sell their injuries.
Yeah, well, they need to give it time. I give TNA credit for giving Daniels off for a month.
And even that's kind of fast.
And even that was a little fast, but at least they let it go a month. WWE doesn't let it go 2 weeks anymore.
Yeah, one example that I remember, I always look back to, was when Savage and Steamboat were feuding right before WrestleMania 3. Savage attacked Steamboat with the ring bell, and I think Steamboat was gone for like 3 months. Something like that. And they played it up like his career was over.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Granted, problem is there was too much TV, so you can't, it's kind of hard to do that, but I don't know, they do need to slow down.
I don't think it's as hard as you think. I think it's as simple as, hey, go home, we'll call you in a couple months, we'll bring you back. The only thing, though, is that they're kind of in the mode right now where if you don't do anything for 2 weeks, you get released.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, well, Rob Conway was getting pushed, and then he jobbed out to Flair, and, yeah, Flair has killed 2 young stars this year. Good for Flair. Rob Conway, and right after he jobbed to Flair, they took him off TV, and he hasn't done anything since. And he may get released.
Funny thing was, I talked to Coco Beware. Shortly after he did that job to Conway. And he said, here we are. He's like, first of all, he says that the wrestling business is racist. And second of all, he says, and they have me lose to some kid who won't be in the business this time next year. And it looks like he might be right.
He might be. He probably will be.
Right.
Which is kind of a shame, because I think Rob Conway has talent. I wasn't a big fan of the gimmick, but I was looking forward to see what the guy could do with maybe an Intercontinental title run, but whatever.
Odd thing I've heard about Mr. Conway is in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, which I'm getting for Christmas and have not played yet, supposedly he comes out to his new Look at Me theme.
I love that theme music.
Francine hates it. I don't know why. I think it's great.
I'm a big Louis Armstrong fan. I like it.
Look at me.
Look at me.
I actually used to be able to...
Ain't I sad to see?
Sorry, I can't do it anymore. I used to be able to do a great impersonation. That reminds me, I got to do a Worker of the Week segment right after Christian, which will be total insanity, just in case you're wondering. And then I'll close out the show. But once again, thanks for stopping by, Patrick, and making the submit applications to become the new host of Weekend Warriors of Wrestling on the forums. Tell us why you should be. Also supply your phone number. We'll give you a call. We'll have a conversation with you. And
you can use your private messages to give us your phone number. We won't ask you to give your phone number out on the forums.
Right.
So everybody can see it.
Yes. Private message or email us the phone number. We'll give you a call and see how you sound. And if you guys hit it off well, maybe we'll select you to be the next host of Weekend Warriors of Wrestling.
All right.
Well, great. Once again, Patrick, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
You do. You too, sir. Yeah, that's a very hard sentence to say. Have a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. Peace out.
Peace out. All right, well, we'll be back easy for me to say. We'll be back in just a moment as we're going to be joined by perhaps the hottest guest possible right now on a wrestling talk show, the one and only Christian Cage, right here on the Wrestling Epicenter on WrestlingEpicenter.com. And part 2 of the interview will air on the first live broadcast of the Wrestling Epicenter on the Blaze 1260.
Available now in the archives of InteractiveWrestlingRadio.com and WrestlingEpicenter.com. It's our exclusive, critically acclaimed interview with Rosemary, including when she had high praise for the Monster Abyss.
One of our immediate favorites that kept us watching TNA when we first started watching was the Monster Abyss. And somebody we very much adored watching him on TV and watching his work and watching his character. So, to be brought in now, 2016, into Impact Wrestling, and to be paired with somebody that we adored so much and looked up to and considered a hero, perhaps, somebody that we very much loved watching his work, and being partnered with him is an absolute dream come true, to not mince words.
Be sure and check out the archives of InteractiveWrestlingRadio.com and the Wrestling Epicenter, featuring our interview archives dating back to 2002.
Welcome to the Wrestling Epicenter here on the Blaze 1260 AM, as we're now being joined by a TNA wrestling superstar, the one and only Christian Cage. Christian, how you doing?
Not bad. How you guys doing?
Doing really good. It's good to have you on the program. I know it's a hectic holiday season, so thank you for taking the time out to join us.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thanks, Christian.
All right, man. So first, let me ask you this: you jumped from WWE to TNA. Everybody seems to be going crazy over on the internet about how great it is that you made that decision. But at this point, are you happy you did?
Of course. I think I'm very comfortable and happy with my decision. I've talked about it before. It wasn't an easy decision to make. I was with WWE for 8 years, and I had, 8 great years there. I accomplished a lot and got to do a lot of things that, I dreamed about doing since I was a kid. And, I just felt at this time in my career that, with obviously my contract coming up when it did, and having everything kind of happening at once, as far as having a little bit of frustration as far as on the creative end of things, and some other things in my life that are going on. I just personally and professionally, I thought it was time to move on, and there was, I think, a great opportunity with TNA that something's happening there that's really good, and it's kind of upstart and headed in the right direction, and it's exciting to be a part of building something.
Okay, Christian, now Vince Russo on the show last week said that TNA is no different than WWE in terms of their backstage atmosphere. Would you agree, or is there a far different feeling backstage at the TNA locker room?
I will say WWE, all the guys, the locker room, as far as the guys were to each other, were very, fairly close knit, and had good relationships, and it was a fun locker room, and in TNA it's the same way. Everyone seems to be very happy and upbeat and excited that something really good is going on, and the company's on its way up, and everybody's there. It seems excited to be working for one common goal, and that's to make the show as good as it could possibly be. And it's a really good atmosphere there, and I can't say enough about it.
A lot of the TNA programming is the X Division. You yourself have been involved in some crazy matches in and of themselves. TLC comes to mind. Which style do you like more? Do you like the more ground style, or do you like the aerial style?
Well, I've never really been the most, the best high flyer, and like a Rey Mysterio or an AJ Styles or something like that.
Absolutely.
I can do some of it, and I kind of a mixture of both. I think with me, personally, I've always, tried to, incorporate a few different things into my style, and I feel like I can adapt to work with anybody at any style, which I think is just kind of, it is a good thing. Whether I'm wrestling somebody that's bigger than me, same size or smaller, it's, I feel like I can adapt to any style. So, I don't think I'm maybe not the best at each one of them, but put them all together, and it's a pretty good package.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. I know I used to live in the New York area, and I know that Madison Square Garden is the toughest group of fans to get over with. And I think back to earlier this year, you were on Raw, in the ring with Vince McMahon, and the crowd was white hot in your favor. Did you think that maybe that positive reaction from the WWE fans in New York City would result in perhaps a better and bigger push from the WWE?
Well, it's weird, you know. I mean, I always have been of the opinion to, you know, let the fans decide. And, you know, to me, you can't fool the fans. They know what they want. And if you're not giving it to them, they'll let you know. And, you know, I felt that at that time in the ring, you know, a lot of the things that I said, I meant. And I meant 100% of everything. I mean, it just kind of happened, and I got this rush come over me in the middle of it, and I just spoke from, you know, directly from the heart how I felt, and that's, and like I said, I meant every single word that I said in the ring that night, and the crowd reacted, and you know what I mean, and after watching it back and stuff, I was like, man, something kind of happened out there tonight, and I felt that maybe the fans saw me in a different light at that point. And were ready to accept me at a different level, and I feel that I was ready, and I had been ready for a long time to step up to that level. And you know, whatever happened after, I mean, I thought I was on a good roll after that, talking about Cena and doing things with Cena, and the crowd was really doing it. It was something that they really wanted to see,
right.
And it didn't really end up that way. And like I said, I don't understand why. I don't know why, and I wish I could put a finger on it, but I can't. So, you know what I mean? It's, those things happen sometimes. There's nothing we can do about it. We just got to look forward, move on, and make the best of the next situation. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, not to continually ask the same stuff that you usually get asked from fans, but what happened to the John Cena feud? Everyone on the show was really excited to see that happen, and then, you know, Cena got switched to Raw, and then your match was basically cut to one three-way match.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I never got an answer, you know, a direct answer as to why, or, you know, I mean, like I said, I can't put a finger on exactly why it happened. I thought it was something the crowd really wanted to see. You know, the night that he showed up on Raw was an unbelievable reaction for both guys, for myself and for him. Obviously, he had a huge reaction, being a big surprise coming over. And I mean, he was, you know, like I said, like I said, it was just, I think people wanted to see the verbal confrontation between us and that sort of thing too, which I thought was going to be kind of exciting. And I don't know, man, like I said, I feel bad for the fans. I felt it was something the fans really wanted to see, and it was something that I wanted to give them. And I said, even if it was just a match on Raw or something, I wish that we give them that match, because I think that they wanted to see Christian versus John Cena, but it never came to be. So
There's always a chance.
You never know.
Absolutely. Well, as guys who've been doing this show for quite some time, I went off on a big tangent after your feud with Ric Flair when you were leaving Raw, and I really felt that you losing to Flair really kind of snuffed out your fire a little bit. Do you think that maybe that kind of killed your momentum a little bit?
You know, I don't know. I think that, honestly, I think that if you are talented enough, and if you are, you know how to, you know, in a sense, speak the fans' language, that the finish of a match really, you know, doesn't matter all that much. And I think, honestly, being in the ring with someone like Ric Flair probably helped me. And to be able to do the verbal banter we did back and forth backstage, and to be in the ring and share the same ring with them, probably, like I said, helped me. So.
Interesting.
I've always felt for myself that I could always go out and perform, and that never let the fans down, regardless whether it was winning or losing or whatever. That, to me, that was never that issue. It was about that the fans were getting what they came to see.
In 2001, we kind of lost the option of choice. And when you decided to leave WWE and go to TNA, you kind of revived the option of choice again. What was the WWE's reaction when you told them, you know, I'm out?
I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. I don't think that they had, maybe they didn't even think of the fact that there was a possibility of anybody leaving to go to TNA or what have you. You know, like I said, I was kind of on the fence about what I wanted to do with the whole situation. Basically till the day before my contract was up, and I ran out of time, so I had to make a decision. And, you know, they had offered me a new contract, and it was a good contract. You know, I know there's a lot of rumors that I was being lowballed, and that wasn't the case at all. And, you know, I've always had a good relationship with John Laurinaitis, so I mean, he was, you know, upfront with me, and it was just, like I said, at the timing of it just felt to me like it was something that I had to do. And I think that, like I said, I think when I told them initially, they were shocked that I told them I was leaving, and that I, you know, there's other things that I wanted to pursue and to do, and I think that little bit of shock set in, and after a few weeks after that, when I debuted on TNA, I'm sure that they were surprised about it. So.
And what a promo that was when you first got there too.
Yeah. Whoa.
Now, prior to entering TNA, were you familiar with the product at all?
Yeah, I had been watching it. It was hard to watch it before it was on Spike TV because I think it was being shown on
Yeah.
It was on like Friday afternoons, and at the time when I was on Raw, I was leaving for house shows on Friday. So 9 times out of 10, I never saw it. And when they moved to Spike TV, I started to watch the product and more. I would catch it here and there before, but I really started to watch it, and I was like, man, they're really going in the right direction here. These young guys here, are really starting to step up, and to me, the future of the company and the future of the business. So it was like, I was just, really intrigued by what I was seeing, and I was like, man, this is a great alternative, and it's something really different and really cool. So I was like, excited by it.
Yeah, you're one of the first to jump ship from WWE to TNA. One that kind of teases the jump is your good friend Y2J, Chris Jericho. Could we see a Chris Jericho or Benoit come over to TNA anytime soon?
This business is so crazy. You can never say never in anything, but I haven't talked to Chris Benoit for since I left, so I'm not sure. But Jericho, as far as I know, as far as we've talked, he wants to do his own thing right now, and he doesn't have any plans to get back in the ring anytime soon, and he has other things that he's doing, and he's happy, and he's healthy, and everything fits him, so he's just enjoying life right now. So
yeah, the Fozzy album's awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned Fozzy. I gotta admit, I'm kind of a Fozzy fan over here.
That's cool.
Yeah, all right, man. Well, let me ask you this question, and we're going to have just about 5 more questions left for you, and then we'll let you go. Question we have here is, there is one confirmed star that is coming, and this guy came from WCW, and that is Sting. Do you think Sting will make an impact in TNA?
Most definitely. You got a guy who's an established, legitimate superstar, and when you have a person like that come over your company, it helps to establish the younger guys that are going to be the foundation of the company for the future. And that sort of having someone like that there, I believe helps, to establish the rest of the guys and make it credible. So, of course.
Absolutely. Well, you've been in the ring with some of the greatest legends of all time. We mentioned Ric Flair earlier. I believe you had some tag matches with Hogan. Just quickly, is there anybody left that you haven't stepped in the ring with that you really just are dying to step in there with?
God, it's funny because, it's weird because there's a lot of guys that I idolized and I watched and had a chance to wrestle them, I just never forget the first time I was standing across the ring from The Undertaker staring at him about to have my first match with him, and I was just like, is this a dream or what, same thing when you get in there with a guy like, I've had a chance to wrestle Hulk Hogan and, been in there with Steve Austin, The Rock, all these guys that are, are huge and legends, so it's, I'm trying to think. Actually teaming with Sting, or whatever it is, doing something with Sting down the line, I think is going to be really cool. And obviously won't be against each other, so
yeah.
But
not the immediate future, anyway.
Yeah. No. But somehow being aligned with him, I think would be pretty cool. And
for more with Christian Cage, be sure to tune in to the Wrestling Epicenter when we return to the Blaze 1260 AM in the year 2006. Keep checking back to WrestlingEpicenter.com to find out when that will be. We have much more with Christian recorded, including his impression of the Ultimate Warrior, as seen on the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD, available in stores now. Now stay tuned for more from the Wrestling Epicenter here on WrestlingEpicenter.com.